This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, LowcoSports fans. Welcome to another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett joined by Wes Kerr on a Monday evening. And here we are, Wes. We've transitioned. The crossover season done crossed over. Hampton County bowed out in the lower state championship in Class 2A on Friday. Man, it was a weird game. You know, they had a couple fluky things go against them early, got down 14-0. They fought back, tied it up at halftime, took the lead in the second half, and it felt like they were really in control of the game. And then another fluky play. It looked like they made a great play on defense to break up a pass. Ball gets deflected right into the receiver's hands. He's fast as lightning, and he's gone for a touchdown. And just the whole thing just turned on its head from there. And they lost 42-21. So we'll get Oceanside versus Gray for the 2A championship one last time before the rules change next year. So it is what it is, I guess. But unfortunate for the Hurricanes, the timing is what it is. But terrific season for them. You were there. We'll talk a little bit more about that momentarily. We've also we'll talk some USCB hoops. They swept on Saturday against Payne College. I was not in attendance for that one. I was out of town, but I got to watch a good bit of both of them. Sandchucks getting 2 dubs, and then we'll talk a little bit about what went down on the basketball court tonight, what we can find. Beaufort lost both of theirs to Ashley Ridge, and we'll keep looking for scores as the night goes on. Maybe people will post them in the comments for us if they have scores from the Colleton Prep or Colleton County games tonight. But we'll talk more hoops later on, as well as talk some wrestling. We're going to have Ashley Powell. Unfortunately, his daughter fell ill this evening, so he's dealing with that. He's on dad duty tonight, but we'll get him on shortly to talk about wrestling with us, and because we got a lot of good wrestlers in the area, and you know, things are definitely shaking up a little bit. I think Mike Newton's back at Hilton Head. I think he's back for another round, which is
gotten some
always interesting.
Some old faces here have made their returns. Talk about Mike Newton, Jeremiah Faber, among others. So it's cool to see some old familiar faces come back to help out the new generation here in the Lowco. So, sometimes you just got to get that itch to get back at it. And we're seeing that across the board here in the Lowco. We just gotta go. But
about every other coach. Other coach at Hilton Head is Mike Newton. But we are going to talk with Takoya Hayward later too.
First and foremost, hope he had a great Thanksgiving, and it was a time of relaxation and good times with family. I was able to see some family over the week as well. So great to do that and to spend some time with people. So I enjoyed that a lot. And now I'm ready to get back at it in a new season. We're moving on to winter sports. We got hoops underway, girls and boys. Basketball already starting up, and as you mentioned, wrestling, which continues to be the bar continues to be raised every season, it seems, here in the Low Country. But I'm ready to get back in the gyms starting tomorrow. I'm heading over to Bluffton with a match against Hampton County Hurricanes, since they're just trying to rebound and get some rest after football season ended. But they've got some basketball dudes who are ready to go. Maybe who have been at football team, and maybe some football guys are trying to shake off the tough result on Friday and get moving the basketball, because I'm really excited for what we could see from this Hampton County team moving forward here in hoop season.
Yeah, they put it on Whale Branch pretty good the other night, that first game of that tournament, even without the football guys. But KJ wasn't there. And when we watch Lowco Lights later, you'll see KJ. Ooh, man, he's looking electric on the basketball court this year. He threw one down with some authority that we'll look at a little bit later. So, neither one of those teams was full strength. I'd love to see them play again at full strength, because that's a fun matchup. They're both going to be really good. Whale Branch is that team, when they get settled into Jeremiah Faber's style, like they're going to be really fun to watch. I'm excited about them. I watched a little bit of huddle video, and they look good. So also excited about Bluffton girls. Koya Hayward going to sit with us a little bit later. She's over at the JV games right now, but when she gets done with those, she's gonna jump on with us and talk some hoops, and we'll watch Lowco Lights. But Wes, you were there for the Hampton game. We did the little live show. I was up in DC, and you were out at Hurricanes before the game, and then I mean the hype was all there as far as the crowd really traveled, and I think the energy was big from the Hampton County side. And like I said, they got off to a shaky start, but really righted the ship quickly and really took control of the game. I mean, the defense was not giving up anything other than one big play, on a blown coverage on the one play for a touchdown. And then the other touchdown was on a pick six where Chris Terry was really just trying to make a play, trying to make something happen. It looked like he was going to complete it. And then that dude just broke out of nowhere and was fast as lightning. That was the thing that impressed me the most about Oceanside was the speed. I mean, they were just so fast.
Yeah, they got
everywhere.
after it.
They got the ball so fast on defense.
Yeah. And, that's something that Hampton hadn't seen much. I mean, you mentioned the game against Brooklyn Casey, but give credit to what Oceanside did. They just made a lot more plays than the Hurricanes were able to that night. And, 42-21 really doesn't tell the whole story. It was a very competitive game. And, it's just a couple of plays. As we mentioned on the Friday show, it's the execution and it's those explosive plays, especially you mentioned on defense, who's going to do that? It ended up being the Land Sharks early with that pick six to make it 14-0. But give Hampton credit, the way they got back in the game. They're able to get some good running, some strong blocking along the outside to get Zion Dobson going. And then Dobson doing his thing. They tied up for halftime. Then they take the lead on just an eye-popping 70-plus yard run from Dobson, which is a highlight reel, Mr. Football written all over it. I mean, that is it just screams defining play for Dobson. For all that we've seen this season, that was a grown man run to the end zone, really showcasing all his abilities. Unfortunately, right before it all kind of fell apart, as we get to see some highlights here from this night from Dobson. I mean, that
he ended up with, I think,
run to the outside. Yeah,
right?
He was close to 200.
Yeah,
but credit the defense to find a way to get back in the game, force that turnover to set up another score, and then Zion Dobson doing his own thing. And
the score's all jacked up on the Hubble video.
The score's confusing for a second. That's not right.
Their score bug's all messed up. Watch it here. It's going to say it's like
here comes the long run
or something at some
point. This is what
here it is. I love that.
It was gonna. This makes it 20-14. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Zion Dobson, the breakaway speed and just the way he's able to elude past those defenders, complete package. And then Chris Terry was able to do his thing. I have no idea what's going on with the score bug, but Chris Terry.
Yeah, it's so jacked up.
This Hampton team. But I was going to say, it just snowballed very quickly. You look at the series of plays that kind of led to Oceanside taking over, that long pass attempt, block, punt, fumble, all happening in succession.
Yeah.
And, when that kind of thing happens, it gets to you, it demoralizes you as a team. And Oceanside was able to do some things a little better on offense. I thought they were able to get the ball out and use more of the pass game to their advantage. How about Aiden Bavarian, a freshman quarterback, stepping up in the game? How about that throw? Because, I think it was a play before the touchdown to tie it when the momentum shifted back to Oceanside. I believe Hampton had a chance to pick off a pass from, I don't remember who it was. It was who tipped the pass, or who was in position to make a pick on it. But it's just those little plays. One or two plays go the other way. Hampton wins the game. It's just unfortunately that's the way it boils down to sometimes. But just a couple of plays turn the other way. Hampton goes up 14 points. I don't know if Oceanside comes back from that. So it hurts. It hurts because they were close. And
no, it really felt like it was like they were in control. Like it was there for the taking, and then it just slipped away so fast. So fast. I mean, the one big play on the pass where it looked like they had made a great play to defend it, and deflected into his hands, touchdown, and then it was like bam, bam. Just, I mean, everything went wrong in a heartbeat, and it just slipped away. But I mean, it was a tremendous season. We had so much fun covering those guys, and to bring together those two schools and two communities the way that they did was incredible, regardless of where it ended. But for it to end in the lower state, and I mean, there's never any shame in losing to a team like Oceanside on the road, especially.
That should be a 4A. It should be at least a 3A, 4A team if they take into account the multiplier effect, which is going to be introduced going forward in the high school league. So, I mean, it hurts. It hurts to be like the year before it happens, and you wish it was an opportunity that you had to maybe go against some other teams and them in Abbeville. I feel like that. I mean, those two teams going at it, but unfortunately, it is the way it was shaped up. But what a season for Hampton County! What a season for that entire football area, with Patrick Henry winning the state championship, and then the Hurricanes doing what they did, getting to the Final Four of Class 2A that first season. It was really special to see two schools bond together like that, and as I mentioned on Friday, it was a process that started in January, early on in this calendar year, bringing these schools together, and Rob Hannon and that coaching staff, Chris Myers on board, doing a terrific job. Just a great story, and certainly they lose a lot with Zion Dobson, who I think is, he proved himself to be the best running back in the state, in my opinion, this year. I mean,
I agree.
What 2,400 yards, 40 touchdowns, unofficial final stats for the year. Just ridiculous. He was driving the offense, and but Chris Terry really emerged. He's going to be back next year. You got Bovain, just a freshman, so they've still got a couple of key offensive pieces back. You got Mandrell Sanders, 4 more here to anchor the defense. You lose a couple of big guys on that front, but some young talents still emerging. I'm sure they'll have some more coming up in the lower ranks, in the junior varsity ranks. So I don't think this Hampton County team is going anywhere. I think the culture has been built, and I think there's a lot of pieces coming back that they're going to be a contender again, wherever they're put next year.
Yeah, I agree with you completely that the culture will endure. There's definitely a lot of guys who graduate, but there's a lot of guys who come back too. Jalen Singletary, I think, is going to be next man up in the backfield. Desmond Mathis is coming back. Emerson Jarrell's a guy who played a lot early when there were some injuries and then didn't play as much later on, but they're going to rely on him on defense next year. There's a lot of guys that contributed this year and got an opportunity to kind of grow into some roles. Jazz Goins is a guy that I think is going to be terrific going forward. So I mean, there's some huge holes to fill, no question. But like you said, this is a program. TJ's back on the line too. That's nice to have. But there's a lot of holes on that line. There's a lot of. They're going to need to find some big fellas who are willing to put in the work like those guys up front did this year to be as good as they were, and maybe even a little bit better, because you don't have Zion running behind you anymore, and Jalen's going to be the next guy, but it might be another year before he's Zion. So Zion wasn't Zion last year either. I mean, that happens over time. That's a process. So I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll be right there, in the mix with the Barnwell and Woodland.
Yeah,
and
obviously we'll see how realignment kind of shakes out. But,
we will, but with the charters presumably moving up, it makes it such that you don't really expect any traditional 2As to move up, really. How would they? In fact, you would expect some of the bottom of 3A of the traditional schools to move down.
Yeah.
So but then you would also expect with some of the charters and privates moving out of 1A, that might knock like a Ridgeland down to 1A when they split. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of moving parts to that we just have to wait and see. But really what it's going to end up doing is making the borderline teams the charters and privates that are on the borderline are going to bump up, and the traditional publics that are on the borderline are going to bump down. And that's really all it's designed to do is just kind of level that out a little bit. And I think it's going to take time to get it just right, but I think it's the obvious first step in the right direction. And I think we get some feedback on how it's working over the first year or two, and make some adjustments. But given and I know I wrote a commentary piece about this, and there was some question about like the nitty gritty of it, which I didn't. I'd have to write a book to get into all of that for people who are uninitiated. But the reality is that, I mean, you have schools that are currently operating. It's not just about the enrollment and the attendance zone. It's also about the resources. So you have schools like Oceanside Collegiate and Gray Collegiate that have resources on par with 4A and 5A schools, where they have like whole training staffs and athletic training staffs, where you've got, a Hampton or a Ridgeland where they might have a trainer, one, and they might not. It might be a staff member who's got a certificate in something, and so that's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about weight rooms where, one looks like a college weight room and one looks like a rural 2A school weight room. And so, I think it just levels out a lot of that stuff. And certainly there are schools like Bridges Prep where they've not been as aggressive in marketing the athletics piece, but let's not pretend like they're not aiming to be more aggressive with that. They're aiming to start football and other new programs. They would very much like to be an athletics powerhouse and for that to be a draw. And as that happens, then they shouldn't be competing with Whale Branch if that's what they're doing. So that's where we are. And Whale Branch may end up in 2A as well. They're another one that is thought to kind of be on the border. And which way do they go now with, your Southside Christians and your Christchurch and all those likely bumping up to 2A. So it's a lot. It's going to be a lot, and it's not going to be perfect. It never is, but it's going to be more equitable than what we've had for the last few years, because basically a loophole had been exploited to the point that it was no longer tenable, and now we got to just course correct a little bit, but it's going to be better in the long run. It's unfortunate for Hampton the timing works out the way it does, but it's going to be good in the long run for the overall. And again, we'll have to adjust as we go to iron out some of those things and how do we handle certain types of schools versus others and all of that. But tricky situation, but you can always, as a private or charter, you don't have to elect membership in the high school league. And when you do, you abide by the ruling of the membership, in which you're going to be a minority as far as your, having your perspective heard. You're one of you're the outlier. So you just kind of got to accept that and understand that skis is over there if you want to go that route. Our buddy Rob Benson has some ideas about skis adding a 5A class and just pulling in all the charters and privates and going after some of the Georgia privates and charters that are trying to avoid the multiplier rule in high school GHSA. And it's an interesting concept that may be part of the fallout of this step. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But let's shout out some sponsors real quick, Wes, and then we're going to shift gears and talk wrestling. Our MVP sponsors, starting with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with Keller Williams of the Low Country, and she would love to help you find your place in the Loco, whether it's a starter home or a forever home, maybe an investment property. The market is interesting out there right now. The interest rates have come down a little, but they're negotiating out there right now. Like for a while, you couldn't negotiate at all as a buyer because there were so many offers out there. But you can negotiate right now, and you can get some things done, repairs made that you didn't used to get. So if you'd like to kind of see what's out there and check it out, let me know. I'll get you in touch with the queen bee of the Loco Hive, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. And if you find something you like, we will make sure that it's the right place by having homegrown home inspections take a look at it. Just talked with Jan Lucas today. He's feeling refreshed after the holidays. ready to go check out some houses. So if you want to make a purchase, let's get Jan and his team from Homegrown Home Inspections on the case to make sure you are making a great investment. They'll check it out from top to bottom and be your eyes and ears and your biggest advocate until move-in day. And then when we sign the papers, we'll go to Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of Loco Sports, our OG sponsors since 2017. And we love Ryan and Tiffany and the Mickelson team, and I'm sure we will see them out at Hilton Head Christian Academy real soon for some basketball action. And Hospice Care of the Low Country, we love their wonderful caring staff led by James Disman, my great friend, the CEO, leading a tremendous team over there at Hospice Care of the Low Country, where it's not about dying, it's about living, and it is Hospice and Palliative Care Month in November. Giving Tuesday tomorrow. We would love a few bucks, but we would also love for you to support Hospice Care of the Low Country. Great organization here in our backyard. And those are our MVP sponsors. And now let's talk wrestling, presented by Reverence Wrestling Club, which has been a great supporter of Loco and really a great asset to the wrestling community here. We've seen it really come up over the last few years as youth wrestling has become a thing. And I have a middle school wrestler now. He's on the McCracken team, getting back in there after he wrestled for a couple years prior to COVID and then wanted to take some time off, but back in there as a middle schooler. So I'm excited for wrestling, and I've got the preseason rankings here for you, Wes. Starting in Class 4A, again, Ashley Powell is going to join us tonight. Unfortunately, his daughter fell ill, so we're wishing her well tonight and wishing the Powells well. Never fun to deal with a sick kiddo. We were commiserating about how helpless that feeling is when your kid's feeling bad and you can't do anything about it. You just sitting there helpless. It's terrible. But so hope the Powells get on the mend soon. But his wrestling team's looking good. They graduated a ton, but still ranked third in Class 4A, which I was a little surprised just based on what they graduated. They have 3 state qualifiers back. None of them placed last year, but I would expect them all to be really solid this year. Dylan Seaman, Josh Echevarria, and Caden McCallum. I've been really impressed with the progress that all 3 of those guys have made over the last couple of years as they've committed themselves to the sport. Then James Island, region mate number 6, Lucy Beckham number 10, and Hilton Head number 16. Bluffton not in the top 20, but they've got one of the better individuals in the region in Bradley Denmark, who was 4th at 285 last year. So, kind of maybe the region a little more up for grabs than it has been in the last few years. Powell always tells us that somebody's right on the cusp. But I think James Island really might be right on the cusp this year, and I think Lucy Beckham's pretty close too. So I think it's just kind of a question for May River of they're going to have a lot of new guys in the lineup, and how quickly can they compete and win.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a process that Powell has done really well to improve they go out and pursue some high quality tournaments. We've had some recent ones in the past where we've hosted near Christmas time. We've had some.
They've got that one again. December 29th and 30th. They're going to have the May River Shark Invitational. And last year it was massive and had people from all over the East Coast. So I'm hoping it's a big one again this year.
Hopefully we continue that kind of prestige and have those quality teams, because that really pays dividends when you get down to the home stretch of the season into the state playoffs, because we've seen that be a big factor in how this May River team is able to rise to the top and being that cream that continues to rise. And unfortunately, they fell a couple times to East Side and the powerhouse that they've been in the wrestling programs over the years. But this May River team continues to show that they're right there among the state's elite, and Powell has done a great job alongside his coaching staff and these dedicated, determined wrestlers who want to continue the tradition that we've seen. And I expect some of these young guys to take some lumps early on, but continue to grow and get to the point where they're ready to be called upon when that number is called, the big time meet down the stretch of the season. So it's been fun to watch that program evolve, but it's good to have some good local competition. And I think this Bluffton team, as you mentioned, is right there. They've been doing some good things. That program continues to rise. I think James Island, Lucy Beckham, across the board, their sports athletics programs and teams have been chomping we need to find a way to take some of them down, because it's been Lucy Beckham and James out of the top a lot. But let's hope some of our teams this winter and spring be able to get them this time.
Now
these next
that's two
few.
more schools that may be moving up
Yeah,
soon, I think, because certainly James Island is charter, so they draw a good number of kids from out of district, and then Lucy Beckham is just growing
yeah,
massively, like really fast. So I wouldn't be surprised if either or both of them moved up to 5A next year, honestly. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. That can
yeah.
shake things up in this region because they
Right.
kind of flexed on the region the last little bit here. I mean, overall, not like they're dominating, but they've become kind of the powers.
Yeah, I mean,
Hilton Head
we've had
Hilton
some.
Head used to always be like right there in the Directors Cup and stuff, and now they've kind of or Carlisle Cup, and
Yeah,
they've kind of fallen off because of Lucy Beckham and James Island taking some of those sports that they dominated for years and making it more competitive. But no, we're gonna have some good wrestling, dude. You said something that I thought about, and now I can't remember what it was. But Brad, oh, I remember what it was. The girls. Bluffton also has the top girl coming
yeah,
back, defending state champ Jada Lawrence,
that's
who
right.
won it at 145 last year. She's outstanding. She was the only local girl who was ranked,
About
but that's because
these girls,
Zayo competes
and
with the boys.
yeah,
She's not fooling with the
it's been
girls.
really cool to see all those. I mean, Shaban, who is now moving
Yeah.
on to the college ranks, she was a big part of why this girls wrestling program has started to grow, and of course, Zaya really blazed the trail a few years back. So yeah, I expect to see a lot more females take to the mat, and I think Hilton Head High has been starting a girls wrestling program as well. But that's really cool, to see the both boys and girls take part in this, because it is, we mentioned how important it is, great cross training for other sports,
Heck
and
yeah.
it's terrific exercise, and it really pushes you in so many different ways, and it's
Well,
fun to cover.
it's a
I
mental test too.
Yeah,
It is a
it's very
mental test.
demanding,
It is. And
but
I mentioned before, I think that my niece is ranked number 2 in the state in Kansas for
awesome.
girls. So she was state runner up last year. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's way better than I ever was.
wrestling is certainly becoming a bigger thing here, but it is huge over in Kansas, isn't it? It is
Oh yeah.
a way of life over there.
Oh yeah, in the Midwest, it is definitely big time. And we've got a lot of Ohioans and New Jerseyans and Pennsylvanians here. So, wrestling's definitely got its little niche here. And looking at 3A, Hanahan, the top ranked team in our local region at number 5, Beaufort number 11, Battery Creek number 12, and Philip Simmons number 13. So super competitive in that region, and could go, any which way. Battery Creek has some studs back. Elmer Linares was runner-up last year. He's been to state 3 times. Gunnar DeGroat was state champ last year. He was out the year before with an injury, but placed in 2021 as well. And Andrew Legree, who transferred over from Beaufort, was a state qualifier last year. And then Beaufort's got 3 state qualifiers back. 2 state qualifiers back, Antonio McKnight and Brandon Bowles. And then Colton Freeman transferred over from Thomas Hayward, it appears, according to SC Matt. And he was a state champ in Skiza last year. So we'll see how he fares in the high school league as a freshman, but that'll be interesting, to see the transition there. He's definitely a big-time
Yeah.
talent in the sport and a really good football player as well. So that's interesting that he's apparently making the switch over to Beaufort. And then in Class 2A, he tore his ACL. That is
no.
so
Oh,
unfortunate.
devastating.
So unfortunate. Shout out to Jay Alfonso, by the way. Jay's Barbershop, Lowco Booster Club, new member again, back in the Booster Club. And then in the 2A, 1A, Bridges Prep, number 20 to start the season. They've got a state qualifier back in Jeremiah Chavez. Really like what Alex Hagan is doing with that program, trying to get it up and running. Mentioned Jada Lawrence in the girls ranks. And then in the Skiza ranks, you got JP2 at number 5,
Yeah.
Carlton number 10, THA number 11. I'm telling you, JP2, I looked at that roster the other night, and they got an army of dudes. So, I don't know how many of them are new to the sport, but I know that, Bill Demude has kind of stepped aside into an assistant role there, more of an administrative role, and Greg Lawns has taken over that program, and they have a ton of kids out. So, that really bodes well because numbers are everything, especially in Skeeza. If you don't give up any forfeits, you got a shot to win the whole thing. So, I think JP2 is going to be one to watch this year. But lots of wrestling coming our way. Got one Wednesday night, Cross and JP2 at Beaufort High. We got a bunch on the schedule already. So, we're going to have some great matches coming up. Definitely looking forward to
I'm pumped to get back in the gyms. Wrestling, it's really cool to see the excitement just on the benches when wrestling the matches are going on, and it just brings a unique surge of energy when we get a pin or something crazy happen over there on the mat, and it's definitely I was never like huge into wrestling when I was younger, but now covering it's one of my favorites. It's become one of my all-time favorite sports to cover, just because of the commitment those boys and girls show, and just the passion and the electricity that we see out there on the court and the mat. So I'm pumped to get back to wrestling and hoops, of course. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a breakthrough season for a couple of our teams. I really like that JP2 squad. They've been growing on a year-to-year basis, and I think this year they've got a special group of dialed-in guys and possibly girls as well. I have to look at the roster, but and then Bluffton, that's a program that has really stepped things up really all the way around. So I'm excited to see how they do, especially fair against and those local teams like May River, and don't count Hilton Head. That's always been a solid, hard-nosed, tough program to go up against, and I expect them to have a say in how things go in that region.
And if what I was told is true, that Mike Newton has hung back up his referee's whistle in lieu of coaching the Seahawks, that will be interesting to see because he's really good at getting newcomers to the sport to a certain level in a short period of time. Those guys at Battery Creek are doing a really good job as well. Alex Rutherford, outstanding coach over there. So looking forward to wrestling season. That's some footage from the Shark Invitational last year. Check it out at New Year's time. But let's shift gears, shout out some more sponsors, and then we're going to talk hoops with Koya Hayward. We've got our varsity sponsors, DDS Web Design. They can help you get your website more clicks or get you a website up and running. If you don't have one, they'll get you up and running with the best search engine optimization tactics to make sure you get found online so that your small business or nonprofit can do more and think bigger. Check them out at ddshhi.com and tell them that Lowco sent you. And the Parker Law Group, our new friends out there, have been serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years, and we appreciate their support, allowing us to continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Like kid we've been covering for a long time, Wes, Koya Hayward. Koya, are you over there, kid? Did we lose you? Did you fall asleep on us? We were I think she's coming. She's there. She's been waiting for a while. We were talking wrestling for a while, so we're trying to get her on here. Koya, are you there?
I'm here.
What's up, kid? How you doing? No camera.
I'm doing
there
good.
it is.
There she is.
You're not a kid anymore. You're all grown up. I remember standing out in the hallway talking to you when you were like an 8th grader, and it feels like just yesterday, but here we are, kid. You're a senior. You guys are off to a great start, 3-0. You got a crew with you, crew of seniors with you. Tell us about this season, how excited you are for one last ride with the Bobcats.
I mean, this season coming in, I thought it was going to be like really rough because, we don't have any juniors on our team. We have we don't really have a lot of anything. We have like maybe 8 players on varsity, and 3 of us are seniors. There's 2 9th graders and then sophomores. So we're really at a disadvantage because our team is kind of young. But between me, Jelena, Madison, and Amira, I mean, we're really strong. And then our bench players or our other starters, we're really strong in those aspects. I'm really excited for the season, especially after the Well Branch tournament. We did really good. We played Hilton Head, did our thing against Beaufort. So I feel like it's going to be a good season. It'll be hard, but it's not nothing I'm scared of.
Decoy, great to hear from you. And as you mentioned, off to a great start, a couple of wins, 3-0, heading into this week, defeating Hilton Head, and that's a team you know very well, Lowco rival. You've seen a lot of Linda Young and that Seahawks squad. So tell me about what you guys did to take down the Seahawks and start off with a couple of victories.
Well, no
Um,
Linda in this one. No Linda in
No
this one.
Linda in that one. Okay,
yeah,
she didn't play in this one. Alrighty.
No,
no,
no.
when we played them, she didn't play because she said she hyperextended her knee, so she was on crutches. But I feel like we beat Hilton Head because at first it was a rough game. You know, I think at the end of the first quarter, it was like 5-6. So
Sure
it was a
was.
pretty rough game in the beginning, but and then Jelena and Maddie were in foul trouble, so we had to get it together. So it was between or up to me and Amira to step up and take over. But I mean, they were a hard fight without Linda, so I know that when Linda comes back, well, it'll be a good game, which it always is. It's always
Yeah.
competitive, always a good game. We're all friends, cousins. We chatted up on the court, laugh, giggle. It's never any beef or anything, but it's fun. So when we play them, I think we play them coming January. So I'm
Ooh.
excited for those games.
Yeah,
Ready to
I'll
get it
definitely be
on?
there. Definitely be there for those ones. I'm
Of
pumped.
course.
That always gets me hyped. Hilton and Bluffton rivalry, doesn't matter the sport. That will being a former Seahawk but I have a lot of respect for these Bobcats, and you guys bring it every night, and I've been really excited and proud to watch you guys continue to step it up every year. You put on a show these last few seasons, and I mean, can you believe that this is it? And can you believe that it's your senior year? Has it gone by fast?
I feel like it's gone by incredibly fast. I was just watching my huddle games from seventh grade to now. I was watching those yesterday. And I not only have I grown a lot, but I've also seen like how my teams have changed. Like in seventh and eighth grade, I was playing with TT. We were TNT, and now
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh, it
senior,
brings
and
me
now
back.
it's like me, Maddie, and Myra and Joanna. So it's like I've been through a lot of different, you know, I guess
Yep.
Yeah.
levels. I went from
Eras.
yeah, I went from playing with TT to playing with like Samari and those guys, and then now I've been with the same people since I think we've been playing together since like 10th grade. So
Right.
Yep.
it's amazing to see the changes and seeing how we've evolved from a team. We may not have the same amount of players that we had when we first started, but the same love and energy is still there. So
Yeah, I always enjoy watching y'all play. You have fun, it seems like. And I'll tell you, I can tell if it's gonna be a good night for y'all. Because if you're having fun, like it's usually a good night. If you're out there fussing the whole time, then it's probably gonna be rough. You wear it on your sleeve. But you did lose one of your running mates with Katie moving out of town. But I noticed Tamira Bolden putting up some nice numbers. Is she kind of
mhm.
stepping into that role for you?
Tamira being one of our sophomores, I mean, she is one of the better defensive players on our team. So I guess she is stepping up in that role that Katie had. Katie is thriving in Florida. I'm so happy for her. But Tamira is taking her role and trying to be the defensive player that we need, the kind of natty kind of guard that we need on defense. So I'm happy for her. She's still trying to get into the role, trying to adjust to the whole varsity thing. But I feel like she's doing a great job.
Well, you get to
Jelena
play teacher
Mosley.
now. Help them grow up.
Jelena Mosley has been quite the spark plug we saw at the end of last season, and now heading into this year, 12 points, 4 boards against Hilton Head. How important has she been to what you do, and to be that spark plug to finish near the rim, and just an excellent hustler, all around player. How awesome is it to have a supporting player like that? To the way she puts up her energy on the court.
It's like playing with Jelena is different for me because me and Jelena have been playing basketball together since we were 4 and 5 years old. Like me and Jelena are cousins, and we've been close ever since birth. So playing with her is just a different level of like connection between me and her. As soon as I get the ball, her and Amira know to run, and I'm gonna give it to them, and they gonna go get the bucket, or if they miss, they gonna get it back and go get it again. And she's one of the leading rebounders, if not the leading rebounder on our team. So it's like just having her there to know that somebody gonna snag the rebound, pass to me, dish to Amira, and we just on a fast break after fast break. It's just such a relief to not have to worry about not rebounding or not having somebody to, play defense.
I'm interested in, like, you mentioned TT when you were in 7th and 8th grade. She was kind of your mentor, kind of took you under her wing, and now you're the elder statesman, and you got Amira, who's the young gun. Like, are you kind of the big sister to her? You kind of trying to take her under your wing and show her your ways?
Myra's on the same route that I'm on. She started in 7th grade. I've been trying to talk to her, tell her stuff since JV. So in the way, I do feel like it's a me and TT kind of bond, because when I was in 7th and 8th grade, TT took me under her wing. She threw me into the point guard position, so that way when I was ready or when TT had to leave, that way I could take over and lead with no problem. So right now I'm trying to do that same thing to Amira, and she's handling it very well, actually. She is making the smart passes, the right reads, the right decisions. So me being there for her and teaching her what TT taught me, I feel like I'm just continuing on the generation, and it is just amazing to see that how she's grown from 7th grade to now. She's only a freshman. She's only 14, so
it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Yeah. Ashlyn wants to know, yes, she does go to Bluffton High School. Yeah, that's her. And she's pretty sure that your sister played for her middle school soccer team. Does that sound right? All right. This is small world here in the Lowco universe. But no, it's been really fun to watch you grow up, and honestly, it's fun to sit here tonight and talk to you, because I'm thinking back to the first time I interviewed you out in the out in the hallway in 7th grade, and you were a pretty shy kid. You didn't have a whole lot to say back then, so it's been cool to watch you, kind of come out of your shell and grow up into the leader that you are for the Bobcats this year. And I know that it's been tough for you guys in the postseason. The last few years, you've had great regular seasons and then run into some really tough opponents in the postseason, and things didn't go your way. But do you feel like, with all these seniors loading up for one last run, maybe we can have a go at it?
I mean, every time I talk to somebody about basketball, they're always talking about the playoffs. They said that this is our last year to make a good run. We have the team, we have the people. So, I mean, after thinking about it, I feel like we can make a run. We can at least make it to the 2nd round, maybe even the 3rd, but I'm down for whatever or wherever the ride takes me. I'm not gonna say our season's gonna be cut short, because I have so much faith in me and my teammates, but I'm just ready for the season.
Give it your all and let the chips fall where they may as you get ready for this final year at Bluffton. But Takoya, great to hear from you. And you've been here in the Lowco for a while, and this speak about this senior class. You and some of these other players that you go up against, like Linda and some of these 2024s that you've played against, both at the high school level and also with AAU ball and just other types of tournament events. So how cool has it been to grow up with these players and friends and be able to go up against them in this last year, and what will you try to savor from this last season?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so it's hard to explain, but as far as from Hilton Head, you have like Linda and Deja. Like I've known Linda since I was in 6th grade, because we were on the same AAU team for the Bulls. And I met Deja when I was in 5th, or the summer when I was going to 6th grade, because we all went to the Boys and Girls Club on Hilton Head. And as far as Jelane and them, I've been playing with them since I was 4 or 5 years old. We all went to daycare together. So being around people
and then you got Morgan and
right.
Kind of people.
Morgan, me, Morgan, and Maddie all went to the same daycare. Me, Morgan, Lynn and Linda and Janiyah Furby were all on the same AAU basketball team. Like, just growing up with them and seeing how much we've grown. I mean, we may not all go to the same school, but we all come to games and support each other, whether we're playing against each other or not. It's just all love and support. And to see how far we've come, to know that people like doubted us in the beginning or didn't expect us to be where we are. Now we're about to go to college and do great things in college. So it's amazing to see where we came from. And I support them and love them with everything in my heart.
Speaking of college, I know you got some offers, including one from the hometown team. USCB got the squad in town now. Are we getting close to a decision, or is it still on the back burner for now?
Actually, I am supposed to commit next month.
Next month, okay.
You're
gonna do it tonight on the show? Is that what you were gonna say?
No.
All right, we'll get you back on the show next month to make your commitment.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna commit like sometime near the end of the month. It'll probably be around like the Bobcat Classic. I'm
very nice.
Still choosing between two schools right now, but I'm kind of set on where I'm going. But I'm leaving my options open. You never know what happens. So
That's right. No need to jump the gun. No need to close it off until you got your mind made up. So still got a season to play. Still got some highlight reels to put out there. So, well, you gonna run track in the spring as well? Depends what happens between now and then.
I've been doing it this long. Why stop now?
Right.
So,
I love that.
Might as well leave it all out there, right?
Might as well.
Yeah, just talk more about your time running track and how that's kind of helped you as an all-around athlete. Going back to basketball season, what have you taken out from your time playing or running track with the Bobcats?
I mean, at one point in my life, I was playing 3 sports at a time. I was playing basketball, soccer, and running track all in the same summer or school year. So me being a 3-sport athlete and doing all those sports and activities at one time, I feel like it really built up my speed and my endurance and just like my energy and all. So especially with track, I started running track when I was like 7. So from 7 to now, I feel like just the conditioning that track does and like the sprints and all this, the agility, the plyometrics that my coach puts us through, regardless if I like it or not. I mean, it just helps with the strength of my legs, all the weightlifting, all the sprints. It helps with my quickness, my speed. And I feel like all of that was really what helped me to get to where I am now, regardless of it being a different sport.
Yep, that's where that twitchiness and explosiveness comes from, and that's the difference sometimes between
plyometrics and box
getting there and not getting there. That's right, plyometrics and box jumps. You ain't kidding. There ain't no secret sauce. It's hard work. That's the only way you get there. But we've enjoyed watching you and excited to watch you for one more season on the basketball court as well as out on the track. And you let us know when you're ready to make that announcement. We'll get you back on the show here. We'll do it upright.
I got you. Appreciate
you, Koya. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
You too. See ya.
Take care. Takoya Hayward, all grown up. We've been covering her since 7th grade. Love that kid. And like I said, it's been cool to watch her grow. Not only as a basketball player, but as a person. We couldn't have had that conversation with her a few years ago. But she is on top of it now. But let's shout out the Lowco Booster Club real quick, Wes. Switching up the order a little bit. Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court. Low Country natives selling the Lowco lifestyle on HHI, and they are living their best lives. I see them on social media all the time. Daniel's out there singing and dancing, and he's a great golfer too. Just doing it upright. So if you want to do it like them on HHI, call the Court Lifestyle Pros. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. I saw Chris Odom hit the like button earlier while we were streaming. He might be watching, and he will also get your floors so clean that your feet will thank you with Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, official floor cleaners of LowcoSports. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness is now open in Belfair Town Village. You can go get your IV bag with your vitamins and minerals, sit in the massage chair in your first visit, and you'll probably get convinced to do the VIP membership and see my guy Max. Say hi. And then Rooted Living Wellness, my guy Dr. Ambrose Cole, Mizzou. He is the best
Huge win
chiropractor
over
I
Arkansas.
know. Oh, yeah, it was fun. It was satisfyingly boring. Like, we just murdered them. It was so great. Eagle Creations, one of the best kept secrets in the area. If you need some marketing materials, some promotional items, some custom apparel, hit them up over on Argent Boulevard and get yourself some stuff. And that's our Lowco Booster Club. And then Jay's Barbershop. Almost didn't get him in there. Jay's Barbershop, Jay Alfonso. I know he's watching, especially for the wrestling stuff. Big wrestling guy. His son Jacob wrestling for Thomas Hayward. He said he'll update us on the event at Hammond on Saturday. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But Jay's Barbershop back in the Lowco Booster Club. Great place to get your ears lowered over in Ridgeland. Just a cool place to hang out too. And if you walk out of Jay's door to the left, about 3-4 doors down, there's some Al Pastor tacos that I highly recommend. I get the pineapple piña, but it's up to you. But they're very, very good tacos Al Pastor. And if they're out on the street carving it off, you know it's going to be extra good because it's really fresh. But that's out in Ridgeland, next to Jay's Barbershop. You got different tacos the other way. You turned right out of Jay's store and got tacos.
I took the other direction.
There's tacos everywhere in downtown Ridgeland, and there's also Fiddlers, and I mean, there's lots of good food down there. It's a pretty good secret nobody knows about. Yeah, there's some good food down Ridgeland way. But let's talk a little USCB hoops. You want to watch the highlights? We got well, first of all, we got student broadcasters on these ones.
that was fantastic.
Because I was out of town. I'm not getting much commentary there, but I'm going to kill that because it makes it hard for us to talk over. Brielle Bartle's back. She's going to be good.
Yeah, she was excellent. Janiah Hayward was sensational. Shania Rose put in some solid minutes. Efficient night for afternoon for Kmart Griffin as well. So
yeah, Kmart was 3 for 3.
Yeah,
were you at the game?
I was there. I was doing the stats, doing some spotting, but yeah, I liked what I saw. And Sharon Versip is obviously a well-renowned, excellent coach, but you see that she's already made her mark on this team by the way the hustle that they play with and just the clinical performance on both ends. They're a really well-coached, well-disciplined team. And it's been fun to see them off to a strong start. Obviously, some injuries along the way that is going to be a factor. But I thought they put on a solid showing at home and took care of business against Payne. But it was Ella Coffey doing some work there. She put in
I love it when Ella Coffey gets in the book. You can see why Versip offered Koya. Now that you've seen her team play, you can really see why she likes Koya, because Koya understands. I mean, she's going to play well in that system, getting to spots and finding people.
Yeah. Unselfish, and that's what she.
Nolan Paladagu. Man, they were 3-point bombing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Primo had a nice game. She flirted with the triple-double, right? Like 10, 7, and 6.
Couldn't quite get to 200 this time, but USCB men hitting it from downtown. Threes raining in the afternoon.
Remember, Bullock got in that scrap on opening day and got ejected, so we didn't get to see much of him. But now that I've seen more of him, he's impressive.
Yeah,
Kenny Gaines got in this game too. Last couple of games he had been out, so that was good to see him.
But Marcus Overstreet with another sensational outing, double, 14 boards, 21 points. You mentioned Larry Bullock had an excellent outing, and Kobe, 9 minutes, he scored 12 points.
Yeah,
the legend of Kobe Shuri continues.
He's ridiculous. There's Overstreet. Shuri's ridiculous.
Can't wait to talk to Coach Figalo about him because he is becoming quite the fan favorite already over at USCB.
Dude, he is instant offense. I mean, he moves his feet. Rich and I were talking about this. Rich, Coach B, and I were talking about this last game. He moves his feet so well while he's waiting for the ball. Like once he flashes open and they're throwing him the pass, while the ball's in the air, he's getting his feet set and he is ready to just fire as soon as he catches it. And it is smooth, bro. It is so nice. Like I love watching that kid shoot. I would love to just watch him shoot in the gym. I bet it's just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
But
I mean, just one of those tireless workers, and someone who puts up his number of shots each day at the gym, and that commitment and I feel like that's been represented throughout this team. And Fudala's done an excellent job getting the total buy-in from this group, and we've seen the top guys produce, and the line changes where you get a couple of different groups coming in and out, and everybody putting in the effort when they get on the court, and seeing those double-digit minutes even from those bench players. That's cool to see, to build that depth, and that's something I was able to talk to Fidala about, and something that he's emphasized when continuing to grow this unit. So I like his approach. I like how he's able to implement so many guys and give them more playing time throughout the year, and for them to positively contribute throughout the season. So I'm excited for what this USCB team can do. Off to a terrific start. Obviously, the competition certainly expected to heighten as they go along. They got one more at Edward Waters before I believe their exam break, and then they get back at it December the 9th against Regent. So see how they finish it out over in Jacksonville. Against
Edward Waters on Thursday. That'll be a tough place to play.
Yep.
Edward Waters, they're 2-4 right now, but they're not bad. So that won't be easy by any stretch to go in there and win, but I think they'll be able to. Young Harris got them by 15. Flagler got them by 13. So it's kind of a good measuring stick as far as how you're going to stack up against a couple of those peach opponents.
Peach Bell.
So it'll be good to see. I'm not sure about the women, the Eddie Waters women. Edward Waters used to be NAIA. They made the D2 jump. They're in the SIAC. They're in the SIAC. USCB 0-1 against the SIAC because they lost to Savannah State. The men, well, both, but the men are 0-1. It was good to see the women get back on track.
Yeah.
The injuries have really derailed them. Okay, Edward Waters women are 2-2. So it'll be a couple pretty good tests for them. I would think.
Going on the road. But,
I hope they
one more opportunity before a break, and leave it all out there and empty the tanks before you get a couple days off to get those exams in.
But,
I'm
and
excited.
then we've got some Whale Branch highlights here as well. KJ. Oh, did you see
KJ?
That? Let's start that over. Watch KJ. Oh,
KJ
Chisholm.
I heard. That's why I heard that I was hearing geriatric speak.
He's a
right
dude.
there.
He's a dude. There he goes. There he goes. Throwing it down. Oh man, that's a good one. Now watch Bradford Thompson. This should not be allowed by a defensive lineman. No, watch this. Watch this. Oh, look at that Euro step. Look at that Euro step on Bradford. You want him on your D line? I do.
Yeah.
David Evans. I love me some David Evans.
Oh, smooth.
Yeah, that was the same play. It just showed it twice on Huddle for some reason. Kevin Jenkins, quick
nice hands.
Yeah. Got the foul. Greg Gilbert had some nice plays in this too. But Bradford. Bradford's just a dog.
Super athletic. Oh, what a beast.
Straight dog. Oh, I love this too. Look at that hustle play. Faber loved that.
Yeah. Those are the kinds of plays that he's going to think about.
These teams play 2 more times, Bridges and Whale Branch, and it will be a dog fight every time.
It's going to be a dog fight.
And then remember, Javon told us Talon Lee, 3 and D. There you go.
Yeah.
Talon Lee with the 3 and D. Here it is again. Boom.
Bang from the outside.
Look, if they can get Talon Lee to score, they're going to be really hard.
Oh, look at that. That reaction was live. Oh,
yeah.
my.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope, right? So Whale Branch is going to be fun. Hampton's going to be fun. Bridges is going to be fun.
Yep.
I think Bluffton boys are going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
see him on
think there's a lot
Tuesday
of,
against Hampton.
and I got a little off the radar showdown for you on Monday night at Bluffton Middle School. You got
Ooh.
Red and his boy Jake Morrow against Oscar Frazier Jr. It's
Oh,
McCracken versus Bluffton Middle in
yeah.
in quite a
Let's
battle.
go.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, we'll for sure do the Loco rankings. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
absolutely do. The
Yeah,
Loco
we'll do a
rankings.
power rankings for
We'll have to get a panel together.
Yeah.
Power rankings.
We did that last year. I thought it was fun to talk with Rob
it was
and
fun.
everyone else. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Willie White. That's who brought it up.
Yep.
Willie White said,
Yeah.
let's do it. Yeah, we'll
Yep.
definitely do that. I mean, you're a coach now, so I guess you can't do
Yeah.
it, but we can. We'll get some. Dayton Altacho is going to get in the mix too. We'll get him out in some gyms, as well as Tristan Capers. Tristan Roberts, excuse me. Tristan Roberts was on the Buford's Own broadcast tonight with Javon, doing a great job. He was on here with us the other night. He did great. And I saw Kylie Rast was doing some post-game interviews for Buford's Own. So getting more students involved in this media game.
Cool.
It's
love to see
good
that
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. But all right, Wes, one thing left to do. That's name our teams of the week. You get the first crack. Who you got?
Let's do one boys and one girls team each. I'm for my boys. My boys. I'm gonna go with the champs. Hilton Head Prep Dolphins.
Okay.
With a nice win over Calvary Day. Under-8 victory for Hilton Head Prep. Ben Fry leading the way with 15. Jason Britche, he is going to be an underrated dog this year. He's got a lot of shoes to fill. Losing a guy like Sean Cusano, Connor Campbell putting in some work as well. So, certainly
for me.
Yeah, a lot was lost from last season, but Connor Campbell's he's going to really have to mature and carry the load for a good amount of the offense because
of course love Lil Ben. Lil Ben.
Yeah, Ben. We've known him a while. Yeah, so. Yeah,
Lil Ben and Big Ben.
He goes way back. They do, but Hilton Head Prep. Certainly high expectations after what they did last year, but I think Connor is going to be that guy who's going to find that next gear this season and produce a passer and a playmaker, and then it's about can you find that same intensity defense? They operate their offense so well seamlessly with the cuts and the motion.
They sure do.
You certainly lose a lot with Cusano. He could shoot the three as well as be that guy who's going to do the work inside. So Britchie's going to have to take more of that load, and they're going to have to find other guys to step up in terms of their depth as well. But still a strong victory over a Calvary Day team to open the season. So. I'm excited to see how Hilton Prep does against Bluffton, I believe. Well, they're at Patrick Henry on tomorrow, and then
Tuesday. Yeah. Max
Prep said they're at Friday at Bluffton. Hilton Prep at Bluffton.
That's what I was seeing too.
Yeah,
and that's way fun. That's way fun. More of that, please.
Yes.
I approve of that for sure. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's going to be great fun. I'm excited about that. And
then
then
my girls team, I'm going to go with the Cross schools. Cross putting up a strong start to their season. A couple wins over Andrew Jackson Academy. They took down Charleston Collegiate, and then they finished off the week with a 44-11 victory over St. John's Christian to start 3-0. Jennison Wilson with a monster performance with 17 points. Again, that St. John's Christian's game. She also put up 8 points and 6 rebounds, along with 3 steals against Andrew Jackson. So a really dynamic, efficient player. I'm really excited she would see what she does. And then PJ Benson also with a strong outing in that contest as well. So and then Savannah Hollins, really doing a bit of it all, picking up some steals and also with the assists, unselfish play. Certainly, we've seen a lot from her game so far. So it's a deep and strong rotation over there from what we're seeing over at Cross, and that coaching staff is going to do an unbelievable job. So I like what's brewing over there on both the boys and girls, but especially that Cross girls team off to a solid start. Very good first few games over there.
Yeah. Yeah, the girls are definitely ahead of the guys as far as just the curve goes. They've got some really good young talent that they've had there for a while, and then they brought in some new pieces. Genesis, obviously coming from Battery Creek, is
Yep.
a huge get, a veteran guard like that, and then PJ is a really talented young kid who can carry the load when they need her to. It'll be interesting. They got a lot of mouths to feed because
Yep.
there's three Holling sisters and then the Maldonado sisters, and so there's a lot of kind of like interchangeable parts and kind of like talented kids that are competing for minutes and touches and stats and all that stuff. So and they're all kids who want to keep playing. So that'll be an interesting dynamic how it kind of gels and comes together over the season. But they'll out talent most people in Skeeza 1A most nights. So that's a fun team to watch for sure.
Yeah.
I'll throw some love on the girls' side. I know they're just doing what they're supposed to do, but Hilton Head Christian Academy is 3-0 again and just absolutely trucking people. They beat Coastal Homeschool 76-10. They beat Drew, whoever that is, 81-18. And they beat South Effingham 59-50, which was a pretty good test.
Yeah.
I did the
Some
math on this. It was in last night in the Lowco today, but now I got to look it up because the math is crazy. They've scored those three, Morgan, Devin, and Tamira. I realize I said those three and I hadn't said who those three people were, but it's Morgan Scott, Tamaya Hutchinson, and Devin Yard are averaging 52.7 combined points per game. The team is averaging 72 points, and they've allowed a total of 78 points in 3 games. They've only allowed a total of 6 more than they're scoring per game. So that's just like stupid numbers on Hilton Head Christian girls basketball. But they're not the juggernaut they've been. They don't have any depth. They've got the 3 kids, and then they're relying on kids that are maybe going to be good players, but have not played varsity basketball yet to even start and play key minutes. So there's not a lot of margin for error. They can't get in foul trouble, things like that. But as long as those 3 are on the court, they're going to be really hard to beat. I think in their league, they'll lose some. They got Calvary Day on Friday. That will be a good one.
Yeah,
that'll be a really
I'm
good one.
thinking of going there as well. We got to maybe try to catch some of them, and then maybe head over to Hilton Prep Boys. So the benefits of having 2 schools close to each other, that's what really
2 minutes apart. Yeah,
it
definitely helps. Definitely helps when you want to go gym hopping. And we already have a gym hop planned in Walterboro in January on a night when we have Colleton County hosting Bluffton and the Salk Men at home. So we're going to go see our friend Coach Lynch up there in January in Walterboro. But that's looking ahead. My boys' team of the week. You took Hilton Head Prep. And Hampton and Whale Branch. Well, Hampton only played 1, and they won it. But it's not enough for me. I need something more. So I'm going off the board here with my boys. I'm going to go with a team that only won 3 games last year and has already won 2 this year. And let me get some highlights up for you. Of the John Paul II Golden Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Christian Tilton, of course. He's CT1 in basketball season. But
CT1.
James Kiefer is a nice 3-point shooter. CT1 is his new name in basketball.
Yeah, change the numbers.
He can make some things happen. And, Daniel Godson is over there helping out now. He's been around for a long time. His daughter Deja plays at Hilton Head High. His son Daniel Jr. playing for the Golden Warriors. A young man named Nikolai Atkinson has been putting up some nice numbers. Dante Aiken is a really smooth outside shooter as well. So, I think this team is going to be much improved.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be on the level of Hilton Head Christian and Hilton Head Prep this year. But I think they're young and they're coming along. And they've got some young talent coming up.
It's going to be, the situation of they're going to go as far as Christian Tilton could take them. It's similar to what we said football season, although this team is a lot more, juice and depth and young talent that can emerge behind them if they get going alongside. So watch out. So I think we're seeing, the genesis of something that could really start to blossom for this group as we get into the region slate. So I do think Christian Academy at Prep are ahead of them, but any given night, this team could make it interesting, especially if they continue to grow as a team before then. So keep an eye on this JP2 group.
The Atkinson kid is kind of nice inside. He defends the rim pretty well. So no, I'm excited to see them. I think they're on the up and up. Always good when people take a step forward. So and that team really struggled through it last year, but it's good to see them making some progress this year. But well, Wes, I think that'll do it for tonight's show. It was an outstanding show. Enjoyed talking sports with you as usual. Good to talk wrestling and basketball. Nice to have Takoya Hayward on the show. She is a tremendous young lady. I've really enjoyed covering her career and getting to know her as a person as well. And tonight was awesome. She came out of her shell a little bit, and that was fun. So look forward to having her on again soon to let us know where she's going to play her college ball. But thanks also to all of our sponsors who keep this thing going. We would love to have more of you on board. If you'd like to become a sponsor for as little as $50 a month, just hit me up at LowcoSports@gmail.com. LOWCO sports@gmail.com. And we're going to put something out tomorrow too for Giving Tuesday. If anybody wants to show some appreciation, we would certainly appreciate that. So thanks so much to everybody who shows up to listen and watch. You're the reason we keep doing it. And for Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.